Hi, I'm Nicole Hemrick, and I'm the founder and managing partner at Hemrick O'Malley, PLLC. Today, I'd like to talk about the executive orders that President Trump issued on his very first day in office. There are a lot of them. I'm going to run through them quickly just to give you a broad overview and provide some analysis that comes from Alliance San Diego. The first of these was to declare a national emergency at the southern border. This is to draw funds from the armed forces to build President Trump's wall to be able to transport immigrants and to gain detention space. As we know, Trump has tried this before in his first administration, and Southern Border Communities Coalition sued him, as well as the Sierra Club and ACLU, and the courts stopped him from doing this. So without extra funding from Congress, resources drawn from the armed forces could affect military operations. So this is dangerous in my, and I'm sure many people's opinion. The second is to declare an invasion at the southern border so that he can suspend entry for anyone who is engaged in the invasion or cannot provide sufficient medical information, reliable criminal history, or background information. The analysis here is that while this could lead to a widespread shutdown of the border, it is unlikely for economic reasons. But everyday commuters across the border could face increased scrutiny and harassment. So the takeaway, make sure you have your medical information, clean criminal history record, and background information. The third of these is to assign the military mission to seal the border and repel mass migration events. Since Trump asked that there be a plan within 10 days of when he signed this order, at this point we are already seeing troops being sent to the border. The fourth is to end birthright citizenship. Thank goodness this was immediately brought to court, and this executive order has been enjoined, meaning that pending the outcome of the case, children born in the United States will continue to be U.S. citizens. Additionally, Trump would like to reinforce registration requirements for undocumented immigrants to register and prioritize enforcement of unregistered immigrants. This requirement has always existed, but has been rarely enforced due to capacity constraints. Unless and until Congress appropriates more funds for enforcement, there will be no additional capacity for this. Of course, Trump's focus on this is certainly increasing fear and anxiety in immigrant communities. And maybe that is his ultimate plan, create a lot of fear and anxiety so people will choose not to come here, and people who are here will choose to leave. So don't be afraid. Go talk to a lawyer. Sixth, to expand expedited removal from border communities to the entire country. So the rule has been that anybody who's within 100 miles from the border and has been in the United States for less than 2 years is subject to expedited removal. Under this new executive order, it doesn't matter where you are within the country. If you're here less than 2 years, this expedited removal could be applied to you. So what can you do? Make sure that you have proof with you that you've been here for 2 years or more, if that is the case. Additionally, Trump has signed an order to impose mandatory detention of individuals in deportation proceedings. Look, this is patently absurd. We just don't have the resources, the detention facilities to put everybody in removal proceedings in detention. Right now, the cost of detention can be up to $500 per person per day. So it's just not practical. Under the new orders, Trump would also like to withhold funds from sanctuary cities that are interfering with federal immigration enforcement. He did this in his first term, and this was defeated in court. But besides that, many elected officials in cities that were generally friendly to immigrants have come out and said they are neither going to interfere nor assist with federal immigration enforcement. So this might be, kind of a moot point. Additionally, the executive orders call for requiring employment verification. This has always been the rule. We have I-9 rules where employers are supposed to check their employees' documents. However, as with many of Trump's proposed orders, enforcing employment verification is just not practical. And also, losing immigrants in jobs where either they haven't been checked or perhaps there might be use of documents that are not their own would be devastating to our economy, would lead to mass poverty of workers, citizens, and immigrants affected by a lack or loss of documents, such as disaster survivors. Under the executive orders, parole has also been stopped. This was permission to enter the United States on a case-by-case basis for people from certain countries. There are many people in the U.S. who are here under parole, and since we don't really know what it looks like at the end of their parole period, if you are one of these people or your family member or friend is affected, again, this is the time to go speak with an immigration attorney. Additionally, Trump would like to suspend the refugee program. Each year, the president determines whether and how many refugees will be admitted into the United States. And again, this isn't new. In his first term, he greatly diminished the refugees coming into the United States. Again, we're back to heavy vetting. This, again, was something that we had in Trump's prior term, and unfortunately, it does affect people from certain countries, and many view this as a pretext for discrimination. Trump has also reinstituted the Remain in Mexico program. This requires people to wait outside of the country if they are seeking asylum. This ceases the usage of the CBP-1 that has made it easier for asylum applicants to present themselves at the border with an appointment. He also wants to review and audit NGOs. Those are non-governmental organizations that help undocumented immigrants. The reality is most NGOs that get federal funding are already under strict reporting guidelines, so it's not likely to really have any meaningful effect. Finally, he wants to deny public benefits to undocumented immigrants. Again, not a change. Most undocumented immigrants are not eligible for public benefits. But of course, this does create more fear and discourage people who might be eligible for applying for benefits. If you have questions about this or any other immigration matter, give us a call at 833-848-7838 or check us out online at www.hemrick.law.